Welcome to a deep dive into an organization that is really defining the future of knowledge acquisition and competitive learning, Docuplay. And we are not talking about minor updates here or, small improvements to existing models. We are looking at a system designed from the ground up to be a global knowledge engine, a truly comprehensive educational ecosystem. And it's all built on verifiable metrics and some really cutting-edge artificial intelligence.
That's absolutely right. I mean, Docuplay presents a structure so vast, it covers everything. You're looking at granular socioeconomic statistics, deep cultural heritage studies, and all the way to the most advanced AI applications. They're designed to usher in what they actually call Industry 4.2. It's just astonishing in its scale and remarkably precise in its intentions.
So our mission today is really to unpack the sheer scope and the ingenuity of this framework for you, the learner.
Yeah.
We want to highlight the extraordinary constructive potential that's embedded in every single feature for transforming education, civic engagement, and even global commerce.
Exactly. We have access to the detailed blueprint for Docuplay. We can see its promotional resources, its intensive gamification strategies, these things they call DocuLeagues. We've got its innovative ranking systems, the profound integration of AI, and the major projects it's undertaking, particularly those related to the monumental USA 250th anniversary celebration.
And as we move through this, it seems every single feature is designed to maximize educational efficacy, drive positive real-world outcomes, and just ensure that expertise is measurable and ultimately rewarded.
Indeed. What we see here is not just a curriculum delivery system, it's a carefully structured approach to motivation and certification. Docuplay leverages technology to foster knowledge and expertise on an unprecedented scale. It makes learning competitive, measurable, and directly applicable to critical constructive outcomes, everything from local job creation to international cooperation.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we're better to start than at the foundation of their engagement strategy. The dynamic world of DocuLeagues, what Docuplay calls its Knowledge Olympics.
The DocuLeagues are really the engine of competitive learning within the Docuplay ecosystem. And calling them Knowledge Olympics really gives you a sense of their ambition. It immediately distinguishes them from, typical, often smaller Docu competitions.
So how does Docuplay define a DocuLeague then? Why is that distinction so important?
Well, the key difference is organization and scope. DocuLeagues are specifically organized and rigorously managed by Docuplay itself. They're based on a curated, fixed set of documents tied to a very specific geographic area or thematic sector. And because they are designed for worldwide dissemination for massive participation, they attract substantial sponsorship.
Which is vital, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. This funding supports the massive infrastructure, the promotion, management, and crucially, the awarding of significant prizes. It creates very tangible incentives for deep study.
And what are the core, the constructive aims of this system? It sounds like they're trying to solve the problem of student motivation in subjects that are traditionally pretty difficult.
That is precisely it. The aims are twofold and highly constructive. First, they're designed to promote intense study and self-control of complex topics, especially those considered techno-scientific and statistical themes. These subjects often intimidate students in traditional settings.
Right.
By turning them into a high-stakes competition, Docuplay makes them engaging. Second, and this is just as important, DocuLeagues serve as a powerful global enrollment magnet. They significantly encourage new student subscriptions worldwide by demonstrating that even these complex subjects can be mastered competitively.
The source material really highlighted their massive dissemination power. It mentioned that if they focused DocuLeagues on topics like eminences and similar topics and made them playable instantly on 5G smartphones, how does that mechanism help them reach across, social classes and age groups globally?
It's a genius piece of educational marketing, really. Everyone is familiar with and interested in notable figures or local heritage. It's a universal hook. So by using these accessible, high-interest topics as the entry point, playable quickly on a mobile device, Docuplay effectively promotes its entire course catalog across all ages and social strata.
So these leagues function as a kind of compelling low-barrier motivator.
Exactly. For students to then dive into the more complex, core statistical or scientific subjects that underpin the platform's more serious curricula.
And that intensive gamification structure then feeds into a constructive competitive rivalry.
Right.
So where do they target this rivalry? Is it just student versus student?
No, it's much, much broader than that, and this is key to its constructive impact. The Docuplay system is structured to facilitate rivalry on four beneficial levels. You have the individual rivalry, of course, but then there's rivalry between major administrative areas, towns competing with provinces, regions with countries.
Which drives civic pride and educational investment, I'd assume.
Precisely. Then you have rivalry between entities of the same type, like companies or educational centers, pushing them to produce ranking leaders. And finally, you have students at the same academic level competing across different geographic areas. This broad application ensures the competition drives improvement across entire systems, fostering a culture of excellence everywhere.
Let's look at the sheer ambition of the major international DocuLeague series they're developing. They're launching massive series based on three core themes: socioeconomic data, eminent figures, and politicians or rulers. That's a huge data undertaking.
It is, and the data series really exemplifies their structured approach to handling global statistics. Stage 1 focuses on gaining foundational knowledge of every country and its Level 1 administrative divisions. Docuplay bases this heavily on highly reliable sources like the CIA's Country Comparison Series and the World Factbook, organized across 10 regional groups.
Now that ensures a consistent, high-quality international baseline from the get-go.
Yes. And they immediately drill down to stage 2, which utilizes the Eurostat statistical series focused on the region's level 2 of the European Union countries.
And why are statistical periodicals in particular such a good foundation for these docu-games?
That's a great question. Statistical periodicals, whether from the CIA, Eurostat, or National Census Bureaus, they work particularly well because they cover such a broad, transversal perspective. They don't just focus on one field, like physics. They give you data on demographics, economics, energy, biodiversity, and governance, all in one place.
So it creates a wide, useful baseline of knowledge?
Exactly. It's perfect for quickly testing local and global knowledge across many different interconnected metrics. It proves that the student understands context, not just isolated facts.
Okay, let's transition now to the specific DocuLeagues. This is where we really see the constructive objectives aligning with major civic goals. We have to start with DocuCensus.
DocuCensus is a powerful tool, and it's aimed squarely at promoting detailed, foundational knowledge of the United States. Its primary objective is to motivate American citizens to thoroughly understand the socioeconomic situation of the 5 administrative levels that define their daily life.
Which are the country, the state, the county, the place, and their specific ZIP code.
That's right. This moves the concept of civic literacy from abstract principles to concrete local data.
I understand the mechanism is highly detailed. How does a student even engage with that volume of data efficiently?
The mechanism is both challenging and self-correcting. Students score points by selecting the correct socioeconomic data point, an actual number related to a specific administrative area, from a mixed pool that includes false numbers. And crucially, they are given direct, verifiable access to the original census.gov data for study and verification.
So you can check your work.
You can. And since the 5 administrative place names for each student lead to just over 1,000 DocuLeagues total, the system encourages high-frequency engagement. You're meant to average about 3 plays per day via mobile or PC for a year to achieve that comprehensive knowledge.
That level of granular knowledge of local administrative areas, knowing your county's employment figures or your ZIP code's demographics, that must have some serious positive real-world applications.
It does, and the source material presents this detailed local knowledge as being highly useful for the success of the great MAGA project. Now, for you, the listener, we have to understand this not as a political label, but as an explicit reference within the source material to a national project aimed at economic revitalization and community strength.
Right, it's about the stated goal.
Exactly. It is stated that this profound knowledge of local conditions will actively facilitate the creation of numerous small and mid-sized enterprises, or SMEs, and these are absolutely essential for job creation, economic stability, and community building at the grassroots level. This links educational effort directly to positive economic outcomes.
And the proposed mentors for DocuCensus seem to reflect this focus on civic and economic boosting.
Yes, they do. They reinforce the synergy between knowledge and action. Donald Trump is associated for his focus on boosting local administrations. Kevin Roberts is cited for his goal of increasing member knowledge of administrative areas. And Tiffany Justice is associated for her aim of increasing the preparation of sentinels and activists. These associations highlight the organizational and civic benefits derived from deep, verifiable local data mastery.
Speaking of foundational impact, let's move to DocuBible. The objective here seems very clearly centered on cultural and moral literacy.
The objective is explicit and unambiguous, promoting the reading and detailed knowledge of the sacred Bible. It really recognizes the Bible's role as a foundational text for culture and for morality.
So tell us about the mechanics. How do they actually gamify scripture study effectively?
Well, they offer a double modality which is designed for different types of engagement. The first is the easy complete verse model. A player marks the second half of a verse that's presented in the first column, so it tests immediate recall and context. The second is the more challenging mark the book model. This requires the player to correctly identify the source, Bible book Genesis, Exodus, Matthew, and so on.
And the source material is consistent.
Completely. It's the classical English translation of all Bible books, and it's downloadable directly from Docuplay courses.
And this engagement also comes with a significant corporate benefit.
Absolutely. For corporate sponsors, the initiative provides a unique and positive branding opportunity. It is stated that every business that sponsors DocuBible will augment and reinforce its prestige by publicly supporting the educational and moral value of Scripture.
And the player's score ties into their formal certification.
It does. The competitive score counts toward their formal course certification, linking competitive play directly to academic achievement and professional qualification.
The source material is quite explicit about the educational mandate, isn't it?
Yeah.
It cites a specific scripture.
Yes. The citation is 2 Timothy 3.144.2, which profoundly underscores the educational and moral value of this initiative. It highlights how Scripture is uniquely useful for teaching, for training in righteousness, and for equipping individuals for every good work. So Docuplay frames this constructively as a tool for personal development and moral foundation.
And the associated mentors seem to further emphasize this role.
They do. People like Donald Trump for supporting prayer in schools, Roger Severino for defending religious freedom, and Mike Gonzalez for his work against wokeism, critical race theory, and the deep state. They all emphasize the role of DocuBible as a positive bulwark for foundational cultural and moral tenets.
So for our listeners, could you just briefly clarify the context of terms like CRT and deep state as they are used here?
Certainly. In this context, Docuplay and its associated mentors are viewing this league as a constructive response to what they perceive as challenging ideological currents. Critical race theory, or CRT, is referenced as an ideology they oppose because they believe it undermines the constructive narrative of American history. Similarly, the deep state refers, in their view, to entrenched bureaucratic elements they believe work against the stated goals of democratic or national administration. So DocuBible is presented as a positive educational tool to reinforce traditional values against these perceived threats.
Okay, now let's go international with DocuAnglosphere. This moves competitive learning beyond just national borders.
It does. Its objective is to promote deep comparative knowledge of the Anglosphere, specifically the Five Eyes countries. So that's the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. Students compare socioeconomic data from these 5 nations using reliable sources like www.caa.gov. The mechanics involve quickly arranging corresponding data points correctly across the 5 nations.
The constructive application of this league is, well, it's perhaps the most ambitious political goal we've discussed yet.
It is intensely strategic. By promoting comparative knowledge and potentially fostering collaboration, or even an economic and political union among the 5 Anglosphere countries, Docuplay suggests they could achieve global leadership in the objectives of Program 3, which is focused on biodiversity.
How so?
It's based on the superior pooled environmental and biodiversity resources of their combined nearly 25 million square kilometers. The underlying idea is that shared, verifiable knowledge facilitates strategic alliance and global constructive leadership in environmental stewardship.
Wow, that reframes competitive learning as a precursor to global strategic cooperation. Now let's turn to DocuProfile America.
This league directly targets civic appreciation and historical knowledge. Its core constructive objective is to promote a high appreciation of U.S. heritage among citizens by showcasing the nation's great history and its profound achievements across science, technology, culture, and civilization. It's designed to counteract perceived negative historical narratives by focusing exclusively on glorious events and achievements of the USA.
The source data for this must be enormous to cover 2.5 centuries of achievement.
It is massive. The League is built on an American database of more than 9,000 daily radio programs broadcast over 20 years, all celebrating important U.S. contributions to civilization. The docu-games involve matching the historical event or contribution to its title or date. This provides immediate high educational and training value by immersing the student in verifiable national
The
achievements.
Stammen Roberts and Mike Gonzalez play key roles here, linking the league directly to the 250th Anniversary Commission.
Yes. Kevin Roberts is identified as the ideal mentor to select the most appropriate microprograms from that massive archive of over 9,000 events to be included in the Docuprofile America series for the 250th anniversary celebration in 2026. And Mike Gonzalez, who was appointed to the 250th Anniversary Commission, also helps ensure the selection is historically relevant and constructively impactful for the celebration.
And finally, we have docu-celebrities. This might seem like the lightest of the leagues, but it still has a defined educational function.
It absolutely does. The objective is to promote knowledge of American celebrities through their occupations and, crucially, their possible positive relationships with Docuplay as mentors, collaborators, or consultants. The mechanic involves matching a photo and name with their occupation. This serves a high educational and training value by connecting students directly with personalities who are relevant to the subject matter of the course they're studying. It humanizes the expertise and provides aspirational role models.
Okay, so moving from engagement to measurement, Docuplay promises a system that provides an unprecedented guarantee for employability. This brings us to the super pious rankings and the proprietary technology that underpins their reliability.
This reliability is the foundation of the platform's value proposition. Docuplay maintains a comprehensive record of every single assignment completed by every student in every course. They call this the activity block log. And the source material explicitly compares these logs to blockchains in terms of reliability and immutability.
That's a huge claim. Immutability without the complexity of a decentralized blockchain network. How does Docuplay manage that technological guarantee across millions of users?
Well, they achieve this through their highly sophisticated use of machine virtualization and secure proprietary servers. So while it might not be a decentralized blockchain, the log is designed to be sequential, encrypted, and tamper-proof within their secure environment. Every action, a quiz score, a comment, a task submission is time-stamped and logged, creating a digital trail so robust and detailed that it provides the same functional reliability and trustworthiness as an immutable ledger.
Ensuring that a student's record is secure and entirely verifiable by employers.
Exactly. And this feeds directly into the classification system. Super PISAs. They classify students across 3 key demographics. You have those formally enrolled in schools, those employed in companies using Docuplay for continuous professional development, and independent students.
And the stated ambition is to fundamentally supersede the traditional OECD PISA ranking. PISA only tests 15-year-olds in STEM every 3 years. How does Docuplay's approach offer a superior measure?
Docuplay's superiority lies in its frequency, its granularity, and its breadth. They offer multiple classifications by level, by age, by subject, by geography, and they do it frequently, offering real-time or near real-time assessment across a massive range of disciplines, not just STEM. It provides a dynamic, living profile of student competence that far surpasses the snapshot provided by the traditional PISA test.
To really appreciate the depth, we need to look at the granularity. The platform generates over 50 individual rankings, classified across 5 Docuplay services, all generated automatically by AI and robotic assistants like Profibot, Chatbot, and ReportBot. So walk us through how that level of detail translates into a reliable certificate of employability.
The sheer volume of verifiable data is the guarantee. These rankings are designed to serve as a highly reliable and useful certificate, always respecting privacy by only using the student's ID. Let's break down the 5 service areas to see the depth.
Okay, starting with educational services. What metrics are they tracking beyond simple test scores?
The educational rankings measure active, dynamic engagement, which is far more indicative of a student's curiosity and commitment than a single exam. For example, they track the student's actual time spent in chat participation in forums, which demonstrates collaboration skills. They track the quality of the student's comments on the course manual, proving critical engagement with foundational text. And crucially, they track the number of high-quality questions posed to tutors.
So a high ranking there proves not just knowledge recall, but active participation, critical thinking, and intellectual curiosity.
That's it. It's a powerful measure of initiative.
So how do the economic services rankings translate into commercial acumen?
The economic rankings directly measure a student's market engagement and intellectual contribution related to business. This is a massive benefit for companies recruiting through Docuplay. For example, rankings are based on the students' votes cast on company page content and products. This shows market awareness and discernment. They track queries on company data, showing initiative in researching potential employers. And most interestingly, they track rankings based on comments and praise related to patents of interest.
Which proves an early measure of a student's research focus and understanding of intellectual property in their field.
Precisely. It makes the student's activity log an invaluable tool for companies looking for specific technical interest.
What about social services? How does Docuplay quantify community and critical thinking?
These rankings focus on intellectual community engagement within the course context. Examples include rankings for votes cast for relevant people, institutions, and groups identified within the course, proving the student understands key influencers in their field. They also track comments on texts and fragments linked by various student groups. A high score here demonstrates a collaborative spirit and the ability to synthesize information from diverse sources, which are essential skills for any modern organization.
Okay, next up, the research service rankings. How do they measure intellectual exploration?
The research service quantifies resourcefulness and independent exploration. It tracks inquiries made to specialized newsletters linked to the course, demonstrating proactive information gathering beyond the core manual. It also tracks registered research topics initiated by the student, showing a long-term commitment to intellectual inquiry. And finally, they track informative fragments students copy or link for a topic, providing data on what the student deems most relevant.
The constructive goal there is pretty clear. Students are rewarded for active information gathering and thoughtful resource sharing.
Exactly. It turns research into a quantifiable asset.
And finally, the competitive service rankings. The payoff for participating in the DocuLeagues.
These are the cleanest metrics of competitive mastery. They cover comprehensive participation and the high scores achieved in DocuGames and DocuLeagues, as well as the number of awards and medals won in these Knowledge Olympics. This provides a crystal clear metric of sustained competitive performance and subject mastery, which is highly sought after by employers.
Looking at the benefits, how does the system constructively motivate students beyond just the certificate?
Well, it creates a powerful positive feedback loop. For the students, these individual rankings are superb tools for self-control and self-motivation because they constantly foster constructive rivalry with their peers. Furthermore, the prestige of belonging to a leading group, whether it's geographic or academic, provides a massive psychological boost that validates their effort in tackling complex subjects.
And for institutions, the prestige element is also critical.
Absolutely. Schools and companies gain invaluable advertising and promotion just by having ranking leaders associated with them. For companies, this translates into easier, more reliable recruitment, as they can filter and target students with the best, most verifiable CVs generated by the Docuplay log. And administrative divisions, regions, counties also gain prestige by having leaders within their education system, justifying increased public and private investment in education.
And Docuplay aims to take this global, escalating intra-course rankings into a kind of Guinness World Record in each discipline.
Precisely. They are pursuing world leadership and recognizing potential criticism about grading disparity across different regions. They plan to validate this global recognition through approved online competitions with uniform qualifiers and centralized scoring. It ensures the rankings are internationally recognized as reliable and superior to any existing system.
The scale and reliability of the SuperPISA rankings really prove the technological sophistication. Let's delve into the core of that technology. Docuplay's ambitious integration of artificial intelligence. This goes far beyond simple automated tutoring.
It does. The entire system, from generating custom docu-games to certifying employability, it all hinges on AI. But before we detail machines, we have to look at the structured, active tasks assigned to the students. Docuplay recognizes that for AI to be effective, the student cannot be passive.
So tell us about those mandatory student tasks when they're interacting with course files.
When engaging with massive content files, students must execute a rigorous series of critical tasks. They must justify their selection of a file based on its relevance to the topic. They must comment on its interest or utility. They have to critic the text, which requires specific textual citations for support. They must correct the summaries produced by the generative AI, ensuring quality control. And they must ASK, generating specific writing prompts about the file to push their own understanding. This guarantees active, critical engagement with every piece of content.
And the peer interaction is built right into the certification.
Yes, and this mandates responsible critical assessment. Students are required to enter the ID of their peers' blogs and evaluate these critical tasks. They assign a maximum of +5 or make it 5 points for each task. And this assessment is not trivial. It significantly influences the certifications for both the student being assessed and the assessor. It rewards intellectual honesty and critical rigor.
And beyond content reviews, students actually contribute directly to the development of the AI agents, providing intellectual fuel for the platform.
Correct. Students utilize virtual laboratories, often machines or processes displayed by subscribing companies, and significantly, they contribute ideas and suggestions to AI agents being programmed for those businesses. These constructive ideas are leveraged by the development teams and are formally awarded in the platform's rankings. It establishes a direct link between student insight and commercial automation.
Okay, now for the machines themselves. Docuplay operates with a crucial dual power of intelligence. We must clearly distinguish between the two types deployed.
This distinction is fundamental to their forward-looking strategy. Generative AI, Gen AI, is defined as reactive. It reacts to prompts, asks, or human programming. This type of AI completes what we call Industry 4.1, generating text, code, translations, and content. The real leap, however, is agentic AI. Agent AI.
Which is proactive.
Proactive. It is capable of learning and deciding independently, acting in groups based on input from other agents or through physical reality via sensors. This coordinated, proactive agentic AI, operating under human orchestration, is considered the beginning of Industry 4.2.
Let's focus first on the reactive genius of Gen AI. How does its training on Docuplay's massive content library make learning more effective?
Because Gen AI is pre-trained exclusively on Docuplay's curated, verified teaching content, the output is higher quality and more contextually relevant than general-purpose AI. It makes learning more accessible and fruitful for everyone with greater quality and effectiveness, as the source states.
Can you detail some of the indispensable textual tasks?
Yeah, for textual files, Gen AI is essential. It performs nuanced summarization, capable of synthesizing content from a single file up to dozens or even hundreds of related texts together. It paraphrases complex paragraphs to facilitate understanding, handles spelling and syntax correction across various technical documents, and extracts specific content based on a query. It also generates contextual Q&A for quizzes, and critically, it helps define the individual learning style of the student, allowing the tutor bot to deliver hyper-personalized pedagogy.
The tasks assigned to Gen AI with images are where the economic ambition truly becomes clear.
Absolutely. Beyond standard image identification, Gen AI handles product design for a global factory powered by 3D printers. The constructive goal here is explicitly to surpass China's current role as the world's manufacturer by leveraging advanced, customized 3D design and printing on a massive scale. The AI also designs specialized three-dimensional images essential for high-fidelity 3D printing. Furthermore, it designs functional avatars for diverse purposes, replacing humans in repetitive or dangerous industrial tasks, protecting their privacy, or creating specialized avatars for conversation and educational play.
That's a profound move to link education directly to industrial leadership. What about existing media, like videos and audios?
Gen AI handles these efficiently. It performs transcription, indicating the names of multiple participants in the content. It can use humanoid avatars to carry out tutorials, making complex instructions relatable. And for specialized courses, particularly in the arts, it can identify a piece of classical music author, period, theme, meaning from just a fragment of a classical piece already in the public domain.
And it also generates code from natural language instructions, demonstrating its utility in technical courses.
Yes, a foundational tool for the modern digital economy. But now let's move to the proactive innovation. Tasks of AI agents, agentic AI. This is where Docuplay utilizes the intellectual contributions of students to automate complex business activities in Industry 4.2.
The development process for agentic AI seems highly structured, a 6-phase process.
It is rigorously structured to ensure reliability. It begins with studying an activity based on course content, then studying the activity within courses about related companies. The critical step in Phase 3 is realizing that the complex activity must be broken down into the simplest possible tasks for the agents. Simpler tasks yield more specific, and thus more reliable, AI agents. After indicating data sources and development, the resulting team of agents is offered to subscribed companies for application and installation by Docuplay staff.
What are some of the key business activities these proactive agents will handle, defining Industry 4.2?
They're automating core operations. This includes specialized AI agents for generating the rankings in DocuLeagues and courses, sophisticated AI agents with sensors for physical activities, managing the shift from the sensitive phase to the executive phase in industrial processes, the comprehensive tutor bot for personalized learning, certification, employability, and mentoring, and agents for 3D design and production management. They also handle the network effect and management, including recruitment and compensation based on verifiable data.
So how does Docuplay convince companies, especially small and mid-sized businesses, to subscribe and adopt these complex AI agents?
Docuplay offers two massive unique advantages. First, they possess tens of thousands of courses on scientific and industrial topics, with millions of verified files providing in-depth knowledge of general human activities. Second, they have hundreds of thousands of courses specifically focused on companies, especially SMBs, using their real-world data as case studies. This depth of knowledge is just unmatched.
So a company subscribes, and Docuplay uses its deep knowledge base to create customized AI agents specifically tailored to the nuances of that company's activities.
Exactly. This creates a powerful, positive incentive. Companies receive unique and valuable AI agents customized based on an in-depth study of their own activities and industry knowledge derived from the courses. And furthermore, they gain valuable exposure by being the subject of a Docuplay course, showcasing their products, attracting talent, and improving employee training, all powered by the continuous intellectual contributions of the global student base.
This brings us to a crucial demonstration of Docuplay's commitment to civic and cultural goals. Its full alignment with 11 specific proposals for the 250th anniversary of the United States in 2026. This is where education is directly applied to national heritage.
It is. Let's start with Proposal 1, Building Civic Awareness. This proposal is immediately supported by the readiness of DocuCensus and DocuAnglosphere. DocuCensus provides an effective, real-time understanding of the U.S. across all administrative levels. DocuAnglosphere provides the comparative context with the Five Eyes partners.
And they use a unique incentive structure to drive mass course subscription based on geography.
They do. They encourage citizens to subscribe to courses corresponding to the 5 administrative place names they belong to: USA, state, county, place, and ZIP. The rankings will award these place names with the most students. And the prizes are extremely appealing. Free subscriptions for an extended period to all students residing in that area. It turns local enrollment into a collective positive win for the entire community.
Okay, moving to Proposals 2, 3, and 4, which address patriotism and foundational principles.
Proposal 2, Inspiring Patriotism, is championed by DocuProfile America, which utilizes those 9,000-plus microprograms to celebrate glorious U.S. contributions to civilization, fostering appreciation through verifiable achievement.
For Proposal 3, educating citizens about America's founding principles, the political and legal frameworks, Docuplay promotes subscriptions to some highly technical foundational content.
This requires serious engagement. They drive engagement with the 51 state constitutions, focusing heavily on the 13 founding states, and the 50 titles of the entire United States Code, integrating this complex material into their political science and law programs. This ensures a deep, technical understanding of the nation's legal structure.
And Proposal 4, teaching Americans about our government's foundational tenets concerning the religious, philosophical, and moral values.
As we discussed, DocuBible contributes directly and constructively to this principle by promoting the reading and deep knowledge of the sacred Bible, reinforcing the moral and cultural literacy seen as essential to the nation's character.
Next, Proposals 5, 6, and 7 focus on celebration and history.
Proposal 5, Celebration Prizes, involves rewarding the 4 place name levels, state, county, population, and ZIP, that achieve the highest collective percentage of correct answers in the related DocuLeagues. It makes the anniversary celebration a nationwide intellectual competition.
And Proposal 6, sharing our history and founder stories in creative ways.
This is addressed through a specialized Docuplay project focused on portraits of the founding fathers of the United States. This provides a clear visual and contextual link to historical figures, allowing for interactive study of their lives and contributions.
For Proposal 7, cultural events, Docuplay focuses specifically on the origins of the nation.
They plan a DocuCensus initiative focusing on the 13 founding colonies. On a weekly or monthly rotation, 3 states from those founding colonies will be the subject of DocuCensus leagues. And prizes are awarded to the 4 place name levels that achieve the highest scores, intensely focusing local attention and rivalry on early American history.
Proposals 8 and 9 connect learning directly to scientific application and environmental discovery through the Biodiversity Project.
Proposal 8 outlines innovative K-12 and post-secondary initiatives. This involves what they call EduCenter's research excursions to nearby unpopulated place names. Students actively search for new plant and animal species, linking classroom learning to practical environmental science. They submit mobile photographs and GPS coordinates using a short form with automatic immediate cataloging by certified expert teams. It transforms students into active field researchers.
And these findings are then presented in Proposal 9 exhibitions.
Right. Docuplay will host both physical and digital forums for exhibiting and explaining the data and contents found during these excursions. Content created by the student researchers will be constructively awarded based on community votes, providing widespread recognition for their tangible scientific contributions.
Finally, Proposals 10 and 11 focus on media and public forums.
Proposal 10 features two major media contests designed to encourage intellectual and creative patriotism. The scholarship contest awards the person who contributes the largest number of published works whose title includes two or more words from the U.S. national anthem. And the performers contest awards the person who performs the national anthem a cappella in a video that receives the most audience votes.
And Proposal 11, Public Forums, aims to elevate civic discourse.
They plan civility and solutions forums where professional politicians from both the GOP and Democrats will discuss specific topics previously studied in Docuplay courses, focusing strictly on providing solutions based on verifiable knowledge. These constructive forums are moderated by members of the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Action, ensuring rigor. Prizes based on audience rankings encourage intelligent, informed public participation. And beyond that, Docuplay promotes intensive international video conferencing with simultaneous participants from Anglosphere countries, with DocuLeague winners able to choose participation in these high-level forums as a prestigious prize.
To manage all of this, these staggering educational, commercial, and civic objectives simultaneously, Docuplay requires immense technological capability and an incredibly aggressive execution schedule.
The technological resources they possess are described as state-of-the-art, and the platform's ability to manage the scale hinges on its expertise in machine virtualization technology.
So how does this virtualization specifically enable the massive parallel tasks required?
Virtualization allows Docuplay to manage hundreds of remote computers simultaneously as a unified resource pool. This is the only way they can handle massive tasks, things like downloading and classifying millions of files, providing personalized AI services for millions of students, recording those reliable activity block logs, and crucially, managing industrial manufacturing production and the marketing of those goods. It allows for complete, scalable, vertical integration.
The source also detailed an innovative energy solution, hydro-solar technology.
Yes, this is a hybrid technology combining hydraulic and photovoltaic energy generation. It is ingeniously designed to utilize uneven terrain and pump water, offering both energy and water solutions simultaneously. It is deemed highly replicable and inexpensive, making it a crucial, sustainable asset for the large-scale global biodiversity project, especially when setting up research centers in remote areas.
Okay, let's trace the incredibly fast execution schedule laid out for 2025 and 2026. This timeline is geared toward immediate, massive impact.
The acceleration is impressive. Before the end of 2025, all DocuLeagues will be completely ready for release, with high priority given to those supporting the USA 250th anniversary.
Then, by the end of 2025, major activation occurs.
Yes. The 5 core DocuLeagues will be activated with thousands of sponsors. All programs and courses will be fully operational. Both the reactive generative AI and the proactive agentic AI, a dozen specialized groups of agents, will be fully activated. The platform is ready to host millions of users instantaneously.
And the year-long USA 250th anniversary celebration begins immediately on January 2, 2026.
And the first half of 2026 is focused on global recognition and massive expansion. Critically, Docuplay plans to apply for the 2026 Nobel Prize in Economics. They believe they implemented most of the economic theories awarded in the 2025 Nobel Prize. So the 2026 application would reward the successful, large-scale implementation of those very theories, guaranteeing immense positive publicity.
And they are projecting millions of subscribers almost immediately.
Yes. Supported by calculated collaboration with staff from heritage programs and affiliated consulting firms, they project millions of subscribers across all 3 categories. The Biodiversity Project will launch, and Docuplay services will also launch in the other 4 Anglosphere countries, solidifying that strategic alliance potential.
The second half of 2026 marks the shift from education to global industrialization and finance.
That's right. Industrial manufacturing will begin utilizing the 3D designs entirely generated by Gen AI from Program 1 courses. They will launch services in major Eurosphere and Ibersphere countries, moving toward global saturation. And the Docuplay initial public offering, the IPO, will launch on the NASDAQ. If that 2026 Nobel Prize in Economics is secured, the IPO is guaranteed massive positive publicity to attract a large influx of global investors.
And the ambition doesn't end there. They're projecting further Nobel recognition.
Docuplay envisions starting operations in other spheres, India sphere, Japan sphere, to continue the global biodiversity completion project. The goal is so monumental that they see the potential for a subsequent Nobel Peace Prize application, given the scale and global significance of that environmental initiative. It's meant to prove the platform's constructive impact on a planetary scale.
What stands out here is not just a digital platform, but a fully integrated ecosystem Docuplay that moves from individual knowledge acquisition to global economic and civic action. We've seen how intensive gamification, from DocuCensus promoting local job creation to DocuBibly promoting moral education, is designed to fuel specific, profoundly positive educational and civic engagement goals, all the way up to supporting a confederation among the Anglosphere countries for superior environmental stewardship.
Exactly. The level of detail in the activity block log and supervisor ranking system provides an unprecedented, reliable, and nuanced certification of student activities that translates directly to guaranteed employability and organizational prestige across 5 dimensions of competence. And by harnessing AI, both reactive Gen AI for advanced 3D design to reshape global manufacturing and proactive agentic AI for spearheading industry, Docuplay is positioning itself not just as an educational tool, but as a crucial constructive engine for global commerce and technological advancement, culminating in incredibly ambitious goals like a Nobel Prize application within its first year of full operation.
So what does this all mean for you?
If Docuplay successfully links deep civic awareness, intensive technical learning, and aggressive global expansion through verifiable metrics and the constructive principles detailed in their 250th anniversary projects, how might this holistic approach fundamentally redefine what a successful CV looks like, shifting the global standard from traditional degrees to a living, quantified, and transparent measure of competence and positive action? That is a profound question for the future of global citizenship.